Did you know, according to the Bible, each new day begins at sunset, which makes sense because we have darkness before light in most situations. They always say the saying is dark right before the dawn. But let's look at a few verses in scripture that help us to understand that. So in Nehemiah 13, we see this. So it was at the gates of Jerusalem as it began to be dark before the Sabbath. The Sabbath was going to begin at sunset, that I commanded the gates to be shut and charged that they must not be opened till after the Sabbath, which would be sunset on Saturday night after sunset. Then I posted some of my servants at the gates so that no burdens would be brought in on the Sabbath day. So here we see very clearly that the Shabbat, the Sabbath, was going to begin at sunset. In Genesis chapter 1, we are told the evening and the morning, the evening and the morning were the first day, the evening and the morning were the second day, the evening and the morning were the third day, and so forth. The evening, the sunset, came before the morning in each of these instances. Also, as the Passover day was ending and the Passover lambs had been sacrificed at the end of the 14th of Abib, which is the day of Passover, when we celebrate the Passover sacrifice. Well, Yeshua died and was crucified at the time of the Passover lamb offerings because he is our Passover, and they got his body, they were getting his body off the grave off the cross before the complete sunset, because that began the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which was a rest Sabbath, a yearly Sabbath, the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So they got his body off the cross before it was complete darkness. Right here, we're told about the Yom Kippur, or Yom HaKippurim in Hebrew, that on the 10th of the month is the Day of Atonement. Now, there's some words added in here that make it confusing, but right here it says, it shall be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and you shall afflict your souls on the 9th. Okay, it doesn't say day there. So on the 9th of the month at evening. So as the 9th is, the day is ending at evening, from evening to evening you shall celebrate your Shabbat. We were only told it's the 10th day. And as the 9th day ends, this word day is not in here. Please take that out. See how it's in italics? That proves to you it's not in there. So on the 9th of the month at evening, so at evening time on the 9th of the month, that's when the 10th day begins. And from evening to evening you shall celebrate your Shabbat. So Yahweh wanted to make it very clear that they would fast the entirety of the day. As the sun set on the 9th, and began the 10th day of the month, that they fasted the entirety of that day until the 10th day ended. So, when does the day begin in the biblical calendar? Not at midnight, not at morning, but at sunset, at evening. Yahweh bless you all.